Hey, welcome back to another episode of Flavor and Fiction. If this is your first time tuning in, Flavor and Fiction is a segment where I read a book from my 2025 reading challenge. I give you a short, spoiler-free review, and then I make a recipe related to the book, so you get your flavor and your fiction. And this time the category was a dystopian or utopian novel, and I chose 1984 by George Orwell. I can't believe it's taken me this long to read it. It's been on my TBR for a long time, and everyone has been comparing it to our current political state. So I figured this would be as good a time as any. And there wasn't a lot of edible food mentioned in the book. If you read it, you know what I'm talking about. But it did mention cabbage. So that's going to be our secret ingredient. And I decided to make smothered cabbage. And normally you see my coworker friend Kevin do a taste test. But this time I was visiting family, and so I had a special helper, my niece Vivian. So at the end of this video, you'll get to see me make the cabbage and have Vivian do a little taste test for us. But before that, let's get into this book. So the story is set in a place called Oceania, and it's basically like a totalitarian state ruled by the party. And the party has like cameras and telescreens everywhere. They're watching your every move. That's where the term like Big Brother is watching you comes from. And Winston, so Winston is the protagonist, and he knows that the party is just like pumping civilians full of propaganda. And he has these thoughts and he writes them in his diary, but he never expresses them to anyone, because if you do express any thought, like even a small little inkling that you're not enthusiastic about anything the party has to say, you disappear during the night and no one ever sees you again. So he writes it down in his diary and then hides it away. So Winston himself works at the Ministry of Truth, and his job at the Ministry of Truth is to rewrite history. And this is where I started seeing a similarity between today's events and in this book. So when he starts having rebellious thoughts, aside from, thinking about it, he can't do much until he meets Julia. So I guess Julia has seen something in him that she has herself, and they connect. They can't openly have like a relationship because, Big Brother is watching. But they find a way to have like clandestine rendezvous, and they dare to dream about the future. And even though they're not fully sure that their plans can ever really happen, they start to have hope, and hope can be a dangerous thing. And because I said no spoilers, I'm not going to tell you how, but they end up getting caught and handed over to the Ministry of Love. Just like the Ministry of Truth rewrites history, the Ministry of Love tries to break them. And so the question is, do they succeed? Does love conquer all? Do they lead a rebellion? Are they broken and sent back into society? Like, what happens? So I'm not going to give you the spoiler, but I will say this. So what I took away from this book was that everyone should question whether or not they actually have freedom of thought, or if we're all just subconsciously being controlled by propaganda. That's the main question. Especially now when we have so many forms of social media and people are falling for all types of ridiculous headlines and stories and just being able to believe whatever they want to believe because it's written. This book definitely kind of opens your eyes to some of that. And I also took from it that if you find something joyful or pure in this world, try with all your might to hold on to it. So yeah, good lessons in this book. I definitely recommend it. So now that I gave you the rundown about the book, let me show you how I made this smothered cabbage, and then Vivian will taste it for you. Take 4 or 5 potatoes. You want to peel them, dice them, and parboil them. While that's happening, you want to fry up your bacon. Take it out the pan, cut up your onion, put that in the pan. Put your washed cabbage in with the onion, stir it around. And then you're going to add back in the cooked bacon as well as the chicken broth and all of your seasonings. And it's going to come out looking like this. You're going to cook it down to your desired liking. The potatoes are a little mushy, may have boiled them too long, but it looks pretty good to me. here is Vivian, my niece, and she's going to do a taste test of the smothered cabbage. You excited, Vivi?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Take a bite. Make sure you blow it up because it's going to be hot. Yeah, little bite. It's going to be hot. You only tasted a piece of bacon. You got to taste a piece of cabbage. That's the potato. Do you eat a piece of cabbage?
Oh.
Vivian, taste a piece of the cabbage. You like it?
Yeah.
Yay! It's Vivi approved. So as you can see, my niece, who isn't crazy about veggies, she was okay with the smothered cabbage. I really liked it. Everyone else in my family, all the adults in my family really liked it. So if you want the recipe or if you want a link to the book, it'll be in the description box below. Please be sure to subscribe. And thanks for tuning in. Happy reading and happy eating.